तं सजीवं सदाद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीकृष्ण श्रीविशानंदं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्ते कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये विशाखपतरुदश्च कृपासिन्धुर्यैव च हरिनामं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण केशाय गोविंदे श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे From this verse from Srimad Bhagvatam Canto 11, Chapter 3, Text 30. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Grateful, honored, and happy to be with all of you. Special gratitude to His Holiness Radha Nath Swami Maharaj and his very devoted and empowered team of devotees who have organized Sadhu Sanga retreat for 2025 here in Orlando, Florida. Haribo. Pilgrims who have come from all over the world to hear and chant the glories of the Lord in the association of devotion. I think you are all creating a culture shock over Orlando. Isn't world universal world or whatever? And there are so many very famous, wonderful fairy tales that people come to participate in. During this reading, perhaps for the first time in history, thousands and thousands of Muslims have come to Orlando for a spiritual retreat.
ánimo.
Just to try to live in fairy tales, but to actually enter into the eternal experience of the Lord, which is the absolute truth. Krishna tells that wherever my devotees gather together to hear and chant my names and glories, I am present in that place. And wherever Krishna is, that is the holy place of joy. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we can see how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is unfolding. When he arrived in New York City in 1965, coming off that lonely path, the Prabhupada described he was looking to the left and right as he was coming down the ramp. He really didn't know if anyone would be waiting for him. But he had his books, the Srimad Bhagvatam. He was carrying the holy name of the Lord in his heart. And he was aspiring to fulfill the instruction of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, in bringing the names of Krishna, the message of Lord Chaitanya, to all towns and villages in the world. Later on, Srila Prabhupada described when he was in New York, he was like a homeless vagabond. These were his own words. Generally, when people are homeless, when they have no material facilities, they beg for money, they beg for food, they beg for their own survival. Which will grow, but to beg us, beg from us to receive what he had. He was begging affluent people from the wealthiest country in the world, the United States of America, to accept what he was entrusted. Eternal loving devotional service to Krishna, and the means to achieve it by hearing the glories of the Lord and chanting the holy names of the Lord. on his prayers of the Jaladuta, Srila Prabhupada concludes by thanking Krishna. You have taken me to this place where there's so much passion and ignorance. Please give me the power to speak your words, Krishna. And please give these people the power to understand your words so that they can be happy. Let me be your puppet and make me dance as you wish for me to dance. Without what signs, your insignificant beggar, Asi Bhaktivedanta Swami. Prabhupada is begging Krishna to empower him to beg all of us and all people of the world to receive Krishna's mercy. How wonderful. In this great capital of sense gratification, thousands and thousands of wonderful devotees have gathered to help one another to give up sense gratification. What understanding are today by experiencing a higher taste. In the path of bhakti, practitioners do not aspire simply to give up sense gratification. The only reason we want to do such a thing is so that we can engage our entire mind, senses, and life in serving Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. Samsiddhya Aditoksha. Whatever our occupation, whatever our role in society, whether it's the worldly society or even the society of devotees, our only success is that we please Krishna. We come together to hear Srimad Bhagvatam. We study Srila Prabhupada's glorious books on a regular basis and share with one another this most essential message that our only true success in life, in whatever we do, whatever we say, it's how we please Krishna. And for all of us within our movement, pleasing Krishna is to please His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. How pleased Srila Prabhupada is with Radha Nath Swami Maharaj and all of his devotees for bringing us together. These things are blocking the clock for me. Glories of the chanting Krishna's names, and especially this Hare Krishna mantra, are revealed in Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eternal pastimes. I would like to share a few. I believe yesterday was the day we celebrate Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita refers to Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam again and again. In fact, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami glorifies Vrindavan Das Thakur with so much love and gratitude. The very basis of his literature is that he's humbling himself before the other Vaishnavas. In order to properly understand Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which presents the postgraduate study of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is essential that we understand to whatever capacity we can. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is presenting it. At the end of every chapter, he's falling at the feet and taking his dust of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Radha Nath Swami. He's glorifying Vrindavan Das Thakur as the true author of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life and teachings. Whatever he hasn't described, Kaviraj Goswami says, I'm presenting that. In fact, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that he's offering his obeisances and taking dust from the feet of each and every person who is reading the Sri Chaitanya Charita. He's worshiping those who are learning from him. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada, he would be expressing such gratitude to his devotees and saying, you are all representatives of my Guru Maharaj. We will make progress as we see life in the world through the eyes of the Acharya. If only we could learn to see each other the way Srila Prabhupada saw us. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in Sri Navadvip, and from the very beginning of his pastimes, when he was an infant child, hardly days in this world, he would cry, and the only thing that would pacify his crying is when the ladies of the house would gather around his bed and chant the names of Lord Hari. And then he would smile. They didn't know he was Krishna, but they loved him just as a pure devotee loves Krishna. To see him cry was the greatest pain. To observe him smiling, the ultimate pleasure of the soul. Srila Prabhupada describes soon people will be constantly around his bed chanting, and he would be smiling upon it, glancing upon it. And he became very naughty child, exactly the way Krishna was naughty child in Vrindavan. And he became the greatest of all scholars, Nimai Pandit. To such an extent, when he was just a teenager, he defeated the Dikkhi Pandit Keshav Kashmiri in debate. Keshav Kashmiri was the greatest scholar in the world. No one could even stand before him in a philosophical debate. He was especially empowered by the goddess Saraswati. Nimai not only defeated him, but did it in such a way that protected the pride of Keshav Kashmiri. And ultimately, the Pandit surrendered to Nimai. Meanwhile, devotees were praying with all their hearts. We love this Nimai. They didn't know why they loved him with the same ecstatic love they loved for Krishna. But yet he was always ranking in philosophical, grammatical debates. They couldn't be with him, and they couldn't be without him. They prayed to him, please make Nimai a devotee, and everyone will be a devotee. Meanwhile, Nimai went to East Bengal as a teacher on the bank of the Padmavati River. He was teaching so many students. Thousands and thousands of students were coming to learn from him. What generally requires at least 12 years to learn in Sanskrit scholarship, his students were learning in hardly 3 years. The spring was about to leave. A wonderful event took place. There was a devotee. His name was Papan Mishra. He was a Brahmin. He was a Brahmin who knew the scriptures with great scholarship. He was associating with so many pandits and sages. He was Sadhaka. He was a seeker of the essence. He was yearning to know what is the true goal of life and how to achieve it. He wandered to so many people and read so many books, but was not satisfied. Because of this, even though he was an embodiment of piety and goodness, he was feeling no peace of mind. Late one night, he had a dream. In this dream, a personality who resembled a demigod appeared to him. He said, if you want to know what is the sadhya, the goal of life, and what is the sadhana, the means to achieve the goal of life, you should go through Nimai Pandit. He is not an ordinary person. He is the one supreme Narayana. He has descended into this world and performed pastimes like an ordinary person. He has come to deliver everyone over to you. But do not disclose what I have told you. Mishra woke up and remembering his dream began to cry. He went to Padmavati River where Nimai Pandit was on his last day and about to return to knowledge. He was surrounded by so many of the students. Everyone was giving gifts to him. And the great Tapan Mishra performed his Dandavat pranams at the feet of Nimai. Nimai was just a teenager. Tapan Mishra was a great elderly scholar. With folded arms, he prayed, I am most wretched. I am most fallen. Although people consider me a scholar, I am ignorant. What is the use of all of these things if I do not understand the purpose of life? Please instruct me. What is the satya? What is the true goal of all the scriptures? And what is the sadhana? What is the way to achieve? Nimai smiled. He said, you are most fortunate because you wish to worship Krishna. But please know, worshiping of Krishna is not so easy. One must learn with authority how to do so. In every age, the Supreme Lord descends to teach the recommended process of Dharma or religion. The 4 yugas. In Satya Yuga, the Lord comes in a white complexion and teaches meditation. In the Treta Yuga, comes in a red complexion to teach the performance of sacrifice, yajna. In the Dwapara Yuga, to teach service to his lotus feet, archana, in a blackish complexion. And in the Kali Yuga, the Lord descends to teach the Yuga Dharma, the means by which one can achieve Lord Krishna through the chanting of the holy names. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chikiskata dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yogeshvara. The essence of all spiritual instructions is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord in this age of God. All the goals of all other spiritual processes in all ages is easily given to one who sincerely and strives to offenselessly chant the holy names.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Go home and chant the holy names without duplicity. And then Mahaprabhu cited this verse. Adinam, 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 Eva, Kevalam, Kalasaste, Kalaste, 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 Yata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way to achieve love than the chanting of the holy names. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught him how to chant. Chant this Maha Mantra. And this is one of the first times the Maha Mantra has been spoken by Lord Chaitanya in our scriptures. He constantly chants the 60-word, 32-syllable mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
by chanting this mantra without duplicity, the seed of love of God will awaken and sprout from within your heart. Maha Mishra accepted this instruction as his guidance. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the Satya, the supreme goal of life, is unconditional, unmotivated love for Krishna. And the sadhana, the means to achieve it, is the congregational chanting of the holy names. Maha Mishra begged, let me come with you to Mayapur. Let me live with you and be among your loving associates. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him a very mysterious instruction. He said, you should go to Varanasi, and I will meet you there later. At this time, Lord Chaitanya had not yet begun the Sankirtan movement in our. So he returned to Navadvip. He remained for some time, and then went to Gaya, initiated, and then came back and established the Sankirtan. So Tapa was one of the first people that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so openly explained everything to. Lord Chaitanya told him to go home and bring his family to live in Varanasi, which was the most peaceful place for Krishna consciousness, because it is the capital of the university. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mission. Interesting. Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan, which is now different than Mayapur. I went to New York City. It's like the capital of materialism at the time. Because he knew what would please the Lord. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he was living in Mayapur, he was warned, do not go to Calcutta. It is the capital of Maya. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur decided, that's why I'm going. Years later, Lord Chaitanya did go to Varanasi. After he established the Hindu movement, after after he took sannyas to spread the holy names of the Lord all over throughout the land. And he went on the South Indian tour. Vishnu was waiting for years and years. And then Lord Chaitanya went to Vrindavan. He stayed 2 months, and on his way returning to Jagannath Puri, he stopped in Varanasi. He spent 2 months there. He lived at the house of Chandrasekhar, and he would take prasad every day at the house of Tapavishra. At that time, Tapavishra had a small boy, a child, whose name was Radha Nath. And this little boy would love to serve Lord Chaitanya. He would clean his plates. He would clean the place where he would eat. Wash things for Lord Chaitanya. Massage his feet, massage his legs. The most simple menial service. And in doing so, he developed such deep love for Lord Chaitanya. When he grew up to be a young man, he left Varanasi. Actually, when Lord Chaitanya was in Varanasi at that time, he instructed Sadhu Swami for 2 months. He delivered Prabhayananda Saraswati and all the Mayavadis. In fact, he established Harinam Sankirtan throughout the city. Vishnu and his son, Raghunath Bhatta, were witness to this. When Raghunath Bhatta went to Jagannath Puri, he served the Lord with so much love and devotion. He would cook for him. And it is described, everything he cooked tasted like nectar. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to eat Raghunath Bhatta's food. After 8 months, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, your parents are my dear devotees. Your mother and father have given their hearts and lives to me. They are getting old. You should go back to Varanasi and take care of your parents. And while you are there, learn Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure and great devotee of the Lord. And chant the holy names. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of affection, he took off his own neck beads, Kanti Mala, and wrapped them around the neck of Raghunath. Following the Lord's instruction, he went back to Varanasi. And with great love and devotion, he studied Srimad Bhagavatam and took care of his parents for 4 years. When his mother and father passed away from this world and returned to go back home, back to Godhead, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami returned to Jagannath. And there for 8 months, he served Lord Chaitanya by doing menial services, by serving all the Vaishnavas, by cooking. And after the 8 months, Lord Chaitanya instructed him to bring down and put yourself under the care of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. In Vrindavan, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami became so very dear to the Vrajavasis and the Goswamis there. He would cook. It was all about emphasizes. Whatever he cooked, because of his love and devotion, was amrita. It was nectar. And he would sing the Srimad Bhagvatam. His voice was so sweet, it was like a cuckoo. And he would sing each verse in 4 or 5 different melodies. Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Radha Nath Swami, and all the devotees would feel such great happiness hearing him reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he would describe in his meditation beauty and sweetness of Krishna, he would be overwhelmed with ecstatic symptoms. He was such a great scholar, he had many disciples. Srila Prabhupada describes that he had his disciples build the Govindaji temple, where Srila Rupa Goswami's team with the Radha Govinda. He put himself in the care and the service of Rupa Goswami especially. Radha Goswami is not known to have a special temple in Vrindavan. He was the servant of Rupa Goswami. And even though some of his disciples were the most powerful people in the country, he engaged all of them in serving Sri Rupa Goswami, by building the temple, by getting all permissions from the temple. He personally worshipped and cooked for Radha Govinda. Kaviraj Goswami says he especially gave him or offered to Govindaji a beautiful flute and earrings shaped like sharks. And then it describes how Radha Nath Swami was always chanting the holy names with the Lord. And always immersed in the teachings and the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what was the symptom of his absorption? It both emphasizes he would never find fault in devotees. He was simply interested in the sincerity of what a devotee has done. And if someone would speak faults of devotees, Bhaktivinoda Goswami would say, just that he's serving Krishna or she is serving Krishna is good enough. I'm not concerned with faults. Srila Prabhupada says sometimes in preaching we must find faults, but Bhaktivinoda Goswami did not do that. But the message is how careful we should be. In this purport today we are reading, envy is so strong in this world. Prabhupada describes sometimes as a definition of a Vaishnava, one who is free from envy. We have to find fault. It should be actually somewhat nice. Our pleasure should be in glorifying Krishna, in glorifying the devotees. And when devotees come together in this spirit for non-sankirtan, Shri Radha Govinda descends upon us. Describes Krishna came in many avatars. to deliver the fires and annihilate the miscreants. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most magnificent, most personal. Yada Bhava Duti Subhalitam Lambi Krishna Swarupa. He comes with the Mahabhav, with the ecstatic love of Srimati Radharani, with supreme motherly compassion. They never hear of Radharani killing anyone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply giving mercy. Dina hina yata chila harina mudhari latara sakshi jagai madai. He gave the highest perfection, the sadhya, ecstatic love of Krishna, to the sadhana of chanting the holy names, to jagai and madai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is supreme. This is what Srila Prabhupada is brought to prove. The birthplace of Lord Chaitanya's Mayapur Dham. The birthplace of the Sankirtan movement is Sri Mayapur Navadvip Dham. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to spread the holy names and the message of Lord Chaitanya to the whole world. How much he was grateful for devotees who were risking everything to do so. And one of his great dreams in fulfillment, the dreams of the great Acharyas, was to bring the world to understand the glories of Lord Chaitanya through the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. And for this reason, Srila Prabhupada gave such prominence and emphasis in the temple of Vedic Planetary, GOVP. Devotees from all over the world, in their love and gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, have been given opportunity to assist in this way. Sunanda Prabhu and Rajvilas Prabhu and Rameshwar Prabhu and all of these devotees are here. Wonderful table outside. So like beggars. They're going everywhere begging. On behalf of Srila Prabhupada, they're begging us to receive Prabhupada's mercy and Lord Chaitanya's mercy by helping in every way we can. And through this wonderful path of Krishna consciousness, through this wonderful movement of ISKCON, which Srila Prabhupada proclaimed to be his own body, his own life's mission, we can help to develop local and worldwide community where relationships are based on the real solutions to the real problems of life, not to be entangled with all these mundane debates that are everywhere. We come together to love one another and to serve one another in the glorification of Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first established Sankirtan to the people in general in Navadvip. he gave this Hare Krishna mantra. And he said, you hear this mantra and chant and be happy. Srila Prabhupada said, chant and be happy. He's directly quoting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So please, let us chant and be happy.
Hare Krishna.